Amberley, I want to bring you into the conversation. And one of the things that's interesting about the Food Policy Council that's just been announced is that it contains people from farm all the way to fork. And you come at this from the perspective of school nutrition programs and very much focused on consumer related issues. So can you maybe bring the consumer into the conversation and give us a sense of how and why school nutrition programs are important? And then maybe reflect on where we as a nation stand, I guess, internationally in terms of this important issue.
Yeah, thanks, Evan. So I'll start with where we stand. Unfortunately, right now, Evan, we could be doing better. In 2017, UNICEF ranked Canada 37th of the 41 most wealthy nations in regards to children's access to healthy food. A contributing factor likely to this ranking is that Canada is the only G7 country without a national school food program. And we know from research that children of all socioeconomic backgrounds prior to COVID and during COVID are still struggling to eat healthy. So I think one of the opportunities that we have before us is I believe there's no better way to improve the health of Canadians than implementing the new Canada Food Guide through a national school food program. With hands-on food literacy, no better way to make that come to fruition. A second opportunity, and which is the focus of my PhD research, is how a national school food program can be a source of local economic development across Canada. In particular, what's called a farm to school approach, which partners with local producers, as currently being piloted in PEI's Hot Lunch program and other places across Canada, could really be a significant boost to the agri-food sector in Canada. In fact, a preliminary estimate found that if 30% of the food was purchased from these local producers, as currently practiced in Brazil, $4.8 billion could be contributed to our local agri-food sector and stimulate up to 200,000 jobs over the next 10 years. Something really to consider as, economic recovery is really at the tip of our tongues coming out of COVID. And
All right. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say the good news is that this is feasible, Evan. My Ontario-based research suggests that about 40% of locally grown fruits and vegetables are currently being procured by school food programs on a new centralized procurement model. So to sum up, I think a universal national school food program has potential to help get our economy not only back on track, but also build a legacy of improved public health for generations to come.
And I bet and we haven't even discussed this ever before, but I bet there's work for you and Sabrina together in order to do the school lunch program and the local pollinator habitat programs at the same time. But we're running out of time, a lightning round, and I'm going to go Sabrina, Amberley, Roshan in that order. You've got a whole lot of members of this Food Policy Advisory Council listening to you right now. In 30 seconds, what sort of advice would you like to leave us with? Sabrina, we'll start with you.
I personally and many of the researchers I work with are very keen in collaborating with government agencies to inform pollinator management practices that can directly impact food security. And I am tempted to say, reach out. I mean, if you feel like it is always great to see research transform into policies. And I think there is a lot of work we can do to improve pollination of crops in Canada.
Awesome. That's a generous offer. I hope you don't live to regret it. Amberley, over to you, and then to Roshan.
Yeah, sure. I think today's announcement is really a great opportunity for school food in Canada. I could really see there being a subcommittee on school food that brings together, similarly as the council embodies, multi-sectoral and multi-ministerial folks together to enhance and support school food programs. So, and I think one of the first orders of business, could be creating harmonized nutrition and food procurement standards to help realize, healthy food for all, equitable healthy food for all, and setting some local food targets to really to set out to achieve these objectives for economic development in Canada.
Oh, that's a super idea. I like it.